Well, you're not supposed to chew up the sheet metal. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We've made it back up to Cinnabons. Still some dew on the grass. You can see the grass kind of shimmering. So the beans definitely will not go yet. There's actually quite a bit of dew. But we are almost done with this place. And then we're gonna be heading to my favorite farm, Longman's, 120 acre field. Got a creek running all the way down through the middle of it. Absolutely beautiful place, but it is kind of a pain in the butt. You got to run the cart across the creek and keep the trucks over by the road, and it's just a long haul, really. Anyway, just going over, checking some things here. The oil level is still good in this, so I would say we got it pretty well whipped. Won't be too long here, and we're going to be getting a frost. It's really pretty cold this morning, about 42 degrees. Dad is not here yet, obviously. I went ahead and started my truck. I don't know how long he'll be, so I'm just gonna get my truck warmed up. Right before I take off, I'll go ahead and start the baby truck so that by the time he gets here, he can take that to town as well. We're gonna be taking both these to town. He's got a contract through Cargill. I don't know, we're just kind of trying to figure out what to do with all this stuff. Our bins at home for the beans are pretty much full. Might be able to hold another, I don't know, 1,500 bushel, if that, on beans, and then the rest of them are gonna have to go to storage somewhere. We've still got a lot of acres of beans, so we've really had some pretty good yielding beans this year. I think that's the consensus for pretty much everybody around here. And as far as the corn goes, the sand was actually, it's good. It's just, it wasn't as good as what we had calculated the first time. We were off a truckload, so I think the sand, the really bad sand that we had over on Kennedy's there was about 176, 180, somewhere in there. We were expecting 130. So we were still thrilled, but yeah, the really bad sand was not very good. But the rest of this corn, and again, like everybody else, everybody's got some pretty good crop around here, so we're pretty happy with what the year's shown us in the combine so far. Let's hope it stays that way. We've got a lot of corn acres left, and we're not even halfway on beans, not even. So we've got a lot to go yet. So I was able to run the 780 last night. And I do gotta say, I mean, it's a really nice machine. Obviously, it's a lot newer than the one that we were running before, the 7120. But as far as John Deere goes, I mean, it's nice. It is a good machine. I really like, I assume there's blowers in front of the window, because the window does not seem to be getting dirty, and the back glass as well, to see into the grain tank. Clean as a whistle. The throttle, I don't like the throttle. There's just 3 buttons: idle, halfway, and then full throttle. On the 7120, you actually had a throttle that you could push forward. I don't like that about this machine. And the only reason is because it's so quiet that half the time I can't tell, I forget that I'm only halfway or full throttle or whatever, you know. So I actually almost went into some beans at half throttle with everything running last night, which would have been bad. I would have slugged everything on the machine. Luckily I caught it right before I went into them, but that is the only gripe I have with this machine. I forget, because it's just all buttons now instead of an actual throttle. And that's my problem, not John Deere's, obviously, but throttle is very touchy, or the hydrostat is very touchy, which I'm just not used to. And then as far as the platform, it ran really well. I got another guard busted. Unbelievable. It definitely does not have the flexibility of the MacDon. We'll go ahead and get this baby truck started for Dad, and then by the time he gets here, he should be able to just take right off. Oh, she left all her snacks in here. Look at all these flies. Goodness. She got in here the other day and she goes, there's so much stuff in here. There was a few Gatorade bottles, water bottle, whatever. She goes, I'm bringing a garbage sack to clean this out. And then what does she do? She leaves the garbage sack, brings a bunch of snacks, a bunch of crap in here, to where anytime it bounces, now I don't even know what I'm hitting back there, but she means well. Typically, whenever I get in the 305 for the first time in the day, I always forget to untarp the cart. And then we go to unload on the go. Luckily, my dad usually is paying attention. And before he starts unloading, slams on the brakes and says, hey, you should probably untarp that cart. He's just sitting here checking the sample in the cart here, and it's really not looking too bad, except, I don't know, we got some dirty cobs, some dirt. I don't know. Sample's just not that clean. Stupid. That was a stupid joke. Before we really head out, we do need to change a guard here, and I do not know which one it is. There's a right and a left. They kind of alternate, so I got to figure out which one it is. I believe it's this one, but I'm gonna have him pull over here and we'll get that changed. They wear through like right here, right at the very tip, and then the top of this just kind of busts off. We'll probably have to keep quite a few of those on hand. I think we've only got 4 or 5 more. The heck is it? I know I saw it. There it is. That one's got a special little reinforcer too. Oh, that's a weird one. That's different. This one's got a special little plate welded on here compared to the others.
Oh, it's attached.
Yes, it is. It's in a bad spot. Get out of there. I know I am. This side's giving me trouble.
You're close.
I know, I'm right there. There we go. Let's clean that out. Fling it right at me.
Well, you're throwing
Okay. Get the new one in quick while you got it set there. And of course, you're wrangling around all these razor sharp blades. Yeah, I need this side down further. You got another hook bar?
Well, they go under.
Shoot. Wait. Help if I could see.
All right, this ain't working. I'm turning the counter.
All right. Wait. On the bright side, the wind is blowing. These beans will definitely go now. Oh yeah. Lift up that sickle. Yowie! Well, it's in there, but it's underneath the knife.
We're not getting along here with this one.
No, and I can't get under that now.
Just take a section or two.
Well, I didn't want to. Okay, now give me some wiggle room. Time to roll out. The bald eagle. Don't want to spook you, buddy. I mean, he's got to be half the size of these front tires. Camera doesn't do it justice, I can tell you that. Well, Dad thinks that I can probably get back to Lakin with the semi. We really need to move. He's only got 3-4 more passes, so I know I'm not going to make it back by the time he's done, but he can be loading the baby truck and getting the head off and getting the truck hooked up to the head carrier and all that while I'm doing this, and hopefully I can make it back at a decent time, and then we'll head over to that new field, that 120 acres of beans, and that is where we'll sit for the rest of today and probably tomorrow. loaded down pretty good. I got to do the shimmy just so I can get the tarp even remotely closed. These beans look pretty good. These are looking really good. Got a lot of 4-potters. Look at that. 4, 4, 4, 4. 4, 4. Not too shabby. Definitely dry. Beans aren't that big, but of course that was just 1 pod. And this is actually, this end row here gets mashed down quite a bit, compaction, as you can see. We back into it a lot, load trucks throughout here, so these are actually going to be worse anyway, but it'll be interesting to see what these beans are going to do. Running over all the beans. There go the profits. Now, I know I have a plot in this field, and this one I actually flagged, so we're actually going to be able to get some sort of data out of it. And he about clipped him off, but hopefully he remembers before I get back. But you can see the green flags in between the beans there. Our delivery service brought me back to the baby truck. Everything is moved over there now. I'm going to head this to town. We actually got it full from what was left on this field, which is just fantastic. Uh-oh, I think we got a problem. Got back to the field finally. Mind you, I took this all the way to town, which is a solid probably 40 minutes, and drove back to the farm, or to the new farm. And Dad has not gotten anything on the cart and is still sitting, hasn't picked anything or cut any beans. And I think the head is off of the combine on the ground. So hopefully it's nothing too big. I want to say he probably ran something through the feeder house. Uh-oh, forgot to put the parking brake on. That's a nice new feature. Well, you're not supposed to chew up the sheet metal.
Well,
At least you got it backed out. Hopefully all of it.
yeah, that was it.
Hey. That must have been behind the shed here.
Blew out in the field. It was on the side away from the edge of the field.
I see. Did you tear anything up?
I seen it, but I hit the wrong switches.
It's like we may have mangled up a finger here. This drum is bent in. So that's not good. I mean,
It didn't hurt anything.
well, you mangled up the drum just a touch.
Made a lot of noise.
Busted up that finger.
That was busted.
Was it broken?
Yep.
Okay, I remember there was one broken on this, but I didn't realize it was mangled up that bad.
Yep. All right. Well, we gotta put that door back in. I'll let it down.
Huh.
Yeah, I seen it. But hit the wrong switch. And that breaker shot her right.
Oh, yeah, no, those belts are moving fast. I don't doubt it a bit. Shot that right in. I rode in here and I'm like, I don't think he's gotten anything cut.
Put her around right there.
Oh, I see now, yeah?
I am not going clear back around to get to the truck.
So you just drove through the beats. I don't blame you. I don't blame you a bit. But and then I realized the head was on the ground and you were backed away from it and it was like, uh-oh. This is bad. But,
Not as bad as I thought it was.
well, yeah.
The meter stopped it. So it was just sitting there making a little noise.
Yeah, I'm sure the machine wasn't very quiet at that moment.
It didn't like it at all.
There you go. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think I got it. Well, that certainly could have been way worse. Luckily, he got it backed out of the feeder house before it actually went through the separator. That beater in there on the back side of the feeder house kept it from going through the machine, thankfully. And he was complaining because in order to run the reverse on the feeder, you gotta have the separator going in the back here. And he obviously didn't want to send any of that through the separator. So he was complaining about that on our 7120. You can just reverse the feeder house without starting the actual combine, the separator itself. So and maybe we can get something done now. We'll cut some beans. Now I'm gonna be waiting for a little while. Definitely not gonna make it back to town. Only 7,200 pounds. So yeah, we'll be sitting a while. It's already, gosh, it's gotta be 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Before you swipe in on the end back here, I'm actually gonna pull back around. I have that plot that I need you to take out.
Oh yeah.
I need you to yeah, I need you to swipe to the right of the flags and then come around and cut into the flags and see the difference. Okay, well, he's thinking these might be 90 plus beans. They're cutting anywhere from 80 to 100, over 100 on the instant averages there. And it is actually, that combine is running light, like 10% on the monitor. According to town, which is the official scales there. So these could average 90. I mean, when I pulled in here, I was like, man, these look good. A lot of 4 pods, just bushy on the bottom. So, hey, this might be our biggest field of beans we've ever had so far as averages. Obviously, you know, you get into areas, you get 115 bushel beans or something, you get a little patch of them on the instant monitor, you know, sure, we've had those before, but as an average total, it's pretty rare. It's been pretty rare that we've hit 80 bushel. We've been real close pretty much every year, and we just couldn't push it past that. We've had a few that went above 80, but we're usually cutting these pretty dry, so we lose some yield there. But this year, they're right on the money, 12.5%, 13% that we're cutting these. We're just getting into them, and they've been big yields this year here. I mean, everybody has had big yields, not just us. But I will say, I think the reason we could not hit above that 80 mark is because we were not strip tilling, and now that we've been getting into the strip till, it's just these beans have been getting better and better and better, and I think we're finally hitting that mark where we're gonna start hitting some big yields time after time with this strip till. And these beans might be proof here, because this is typically not a massive yielding field. Our best farms we have yet to even harvest, and this is kind of in the middle. So if we get up in that 147 pi, which is massive productivity index, we may see 90, 100 plus bushel beans. I mean, there's some guys around here that have said they've been having close to that yield, if not 100 bushel beans. So we'll see, I guess. That's exciting. Let's find out. Well, here begins my plot to the left here, 24 rows. Visually, you really can't see much of a difference, and you probably won't. But here is where I had my riser, starter fertilizer, compared to none, and I had a little bit of that growth hormone in here. I mean, some of these bushed out pretty good, but we got the same thing over here too. We got 4, 5, we got a main stem and 4 branches off of it with just nothing but pods all over it. So I mean, the combine is gonna have to tell me on that one whether or not it did anything. Usually starter fertilizer does not really help beans, doesn't really matter. But I am curious on that growth hormone. He's gonna come and swipe off these ends. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk through my row that I do not want him to take, just so he doesn't on accident. Is that what that says? 97, 84. Okay. 77, somewhere in there.
We know it's not correct because it's not counted in.
Right, it's actually 10% lower.
Well, we don't know.
Somewhere in there, I thought. Okay, what's it come out to? About 78.36. Okay, trying to remember that number, 78.36. Well, we gotta wait a minute, see where it's going, because it usually climbs right at the end here. So it might actually be worse.
This would be the
78.94. So half a bushel worse with the extra money spent on it. So it didn't work. Jeez. I think she's full, Clark. Well, that was a wash. Basically dead on even. Didn't matter whether I put the starter on or that growth hormone. Didn't do anything. So it's kind of what I expected. Starter really doesn't pay on beans. And the growth hormone, who knows, maybe I'll probably try it again next year. I really want to try it on some sand corn maybe, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm gonna get the Kenworth loaded, head it down to Putnam, get a load or two out of here. We have plenty of beans to be able to fill them in at home and fill that contract, so I'm gonna get some stored elsewhere. He's really got a load on here. Oh, killed the tractor. Yeah, we've got enough beans here, I guess is all I'm saying. So they're yielding really well. We've got 118 acres or so here. So bring them on. The more the merrier. Too far. So my sister put all these snacks in here. But of course I eat every time I'm in here, which I don't need to be eating. But she got these s'mores popcorn. She shows them to me and she goes, "Man, you'll never believe what I paid for this bag of popcorn." I said, "Oh, you know, $6, you know, it's a different flavor, whatever. $7. $25 for that bag of popcorn." I said, that better be the best popcorn that I've ever had in my life. Let me tell you, it's not. But she said, I got cornered by the Boy Scouts and they were selling popcorn. I said, would you like a bag? She said, oh yeah, sure. And then they said, oh, that'll be $25. You can't back out at that point. They had no signs. They didn't tell you ahead of time how expensive this bag of popcorn was. You can't just be like, you know what? Never mind. I don't care about the Boy Scouts. You can't do that. So I feel bad for her. She spent $25 on a bag of popcorn. But I'm sitting here enjoying it because to me, it was free. So. Well, we've gotten quite a bit of this field knocked out. I'm betting he's probably gotten 25 acres or better. This front field's about 50? No. Yeah, 50. And then I think the back field's about 70, roughly. 120 acres. But I think I can get one more load in. It is only 620 or so. Although I don't know, that was actually quite a long drive over there. I may not be able to get another one, because he's got to get another load on me yet. I guess we'll find out. with what he's got on the hopper, should fill the truck, and then I can get out of here. So I've only got about 40 minutes to get down there, which should be more than enough time. Looks like he's gonna be heading across the creek now. That's the fun one. We gotta kind of truck everything back and forth over the creek just to get to our semis, because there's really no other way. Wish I could be running my drone right now. It's absolutely gorgeous out. Well, I was gonna call it a video there, but I kind of want to see what this drone can do in the dark. All right, now we'll call it a video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing, liking, commenting. We'll see you in the next one.